Okay. Hey, so Marshall,
So
how funny is it that we're wearing the exact same outfits from the last podcast?
I don't know. It's almost like this is the next episode of the Tilted Roll podcast.
I know, right?
This one there's no cold opening on this one. We're just right into
We're
it.
just going right into it. To be fair, though,
Um,
I do wear the same sweater to AL.
I also wear
for
this. I
every
was say
single-
I wear this sweater a lot too.
I just wear the sweater. Do you ever wear a sweater without a shirt underneath?
As much as I should sometimes. No. It's just kind of too off for me to do that.
Okay.
But a lot of times, especially if I know I'm going to be in a warmer place, like for example, the editing room at my school,
Yes.
our editing lab gets super warm because there's like 40 computers that are in there that are running, and not an AC in that room, so at least not the same.
It's a place to be when it's the winter and it's cold.
Actually, it
everywhere
very
else.
much is.
Yes.
Which is funny because then if you go on the other side and you actually go into a studio, it's cold as hell. So it's because they have to keep the AC running in the studio even during the winter because they have to cool the lights.
Has there ever been something where someone will go from the computer room into the studio room and then back and then pass out?
No, not as far as I know.
No, you know what's
but-
the thing I'm referring to, right? Like the sudden temperature changes make someone pass out.
It's not that. I mean, it's not that sudden. But that type of thing will give you a cold. That happen. That's why it's actually really easy to get sick at the start of a warm season wherever people live. Especially, I remember back when I was a debate coach.
Yes.
And I went to a tournament in Florida for like a national tournament. The other judge that I was judging with, I was on a panel, and he was saying how, because he's from Florida, and he was saying how it's like, he's like, man, it's so crazy cold in here. It's like, it's no wonder we get colds all the time. And because it's the thing, and that is true, is if you consistently go through fluctuating temperature changes, it actually can make you sick.
Yeah.
That's why it isn't good to have it like super overly cold in the summer, and it's not good to have it super overly warm in the winter. You want to have them at comfortable rated temperatures.
But you want to know a great way to not get sick, man?
What?
Vaccinate your children.
Well, it can't help
Do
the
it.
cold, but do that,
Do it.
please. It won't save you from
Please.
the cold, but it will prevent your kids from getting like
Yes.
what were seemingly curable diseases.
Listen, we don't
You
don't
don't-
really get political on this podcast a lot, but vaccination is not a political subject. It's a basic human right.
To me,
Do
it's
it.
not.
Yes.
I was gonna say, well, especially for me as somebody who worked essentially in part of the health industry 4 years. For the love of God, do it. Like it's not like that's the thing. Like it's one of those things where like it's really easy. Like because I've talked to plenty of parents over the half decade that I worked in the in the healthcare industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've talked to plenty of parents, and the biggest thing is like sure, it's really easy to like get wrapped up in like what like what is good for your kids, and like it's really easy to like lose track of like how that the plus side, if you're a little rough with it, it won't jiggle too much. But like it's really easy to get wrapped up in like what can potentially be bad. I mean, because God forbid, like everything gives you cancer now, right?
Oh
like,
yeah.
But like that's the thing. It's like it's one of those things where it's just like your doctor knows what they're talking about. Listen to your doctor.
But yes.
Like, because that's something that we get all the time. I remember this is actually a really funny story. This drives away from the political aspect of
Go
it.
for it.
So around, I think it was like I think it was like the last 2 weeks that I was working at the pharmacy.
Mm.
Somebody called on like a Saturday. He was giving because people will call the pharmacist all the time. Because they don't want to immediately go to the doctor, have to pay all the bills for going into an urgent care or whatever.
Right.
Sometimes they'll just call the pharmacist because
Exactly.
it's always available, especially if you go to your local pharmacist like you should. But that's the thing is you can people call them, be like, hey, I've been experiencing this. Do you think it's a big deal? But a lot of times it's simple stuff, right? Like I've had this cough for like a week, it hasn't really been going away. What do you think I should just take some blank medicine or should I go to my doctor? Do you think it's maybe worse? And then, they'll give you the spiel of like whatever common systems of like, maybe it's like ask you essentially symptoms of the flu and stuff like that.
Right.
They'll essentially give you that little extra push to either go to the doctor or just come in and get some meds. Because like this thing got thrown out of focus. I don't know what has been up with this lens, but it's like losing focus.
That's gonna
like
bother
really
you
weird
for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. But yeah, I noticed the peaking went like all the way to the back wall.
It's fine. It wouldn't be a Natural One production if it didn't have some sort of technical difficulty.
Yeah, but anyway, so this guy called the pharmacy, talked to the pharmacist, and I'm kind of going around. I'm doing inventory. So I'm like definitely within earshot.
As you do, yeah.
Actually, in the pharmacy inherently, I'm always within earshot unless I'm in the basement.
You don't want to be in the basement.
Well, I was a stock person as well, so I was in the basement a lot.
No, go for it. I'm gonna stop.
So no, you don't want to be in the basement because I'll get you. I don't work there anymore, so never mind. I won't get you. Yeah. So he was talking to the patient, and he was just kind of like, no, I kind of seeing him become more and more concerned as I'm on the other side of the shelf, and he like, hey, just no, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, you should. I'm sorry. So it's been a month. Well, yeah, you should probably if your heart rate is that low, and he's not feeling anything in his hand, he probably should go to the doctor. Like, yeah, he could have another stroke. And at that point, I'm like, what? Essentially, like, in terms of TLDR, like, this person, like, apparently this patient had a stroke already. And, like, they had been exhibiting symptoms of another stroke. And we're asking whether or not they should just come in and get aspirin or go to the doctor. And he's just like, yeah, go to your doctor. Like, because it's one of those things, like, sure, sometimes you're not sure and you want to know. But if you are at all considering whether or not you have had a stroke, go to the doctor.
Oh my God.
He was laughing about it, obviously, because like the person's clearly alive, and like
clearly,
and it's one of those things where it's like he's not laughing because it's funny. He's laughing because it's just so like asinine to think. I mean, I'm not feeling the right half of my body. Do you think it's anything, or should I maybe go to the doctor?
I don't know, man.
Or should I just take some aspirin?
I feel like there's a type of person that if they had a dead person on their couch, they'd be like, yeah, they were just laying there. They're a bit cold.
But this is like the person's kid.
Yeah.
Like,
oh God.
This was their like son or something, and
no.
like they went through the process of the first stroke with their dad. And I guess the dad was going over. Apparently, it was more the pusher of like, I don't think it's a big deal. Don't worry about going to the doctor. Maybe I should just take some aspirin. Call the pharmacist. And then the son did. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And it was part of it. So yes, it was kind of twofold. It was like, how do you not understand having been in the stroke? No, you should just go to the doctor. And how do you, as the son, not just think, hey, I should probably
go to the hospital,
ignore my dad
at that point, yeah.
Who, for again, all things considered, has stroke brain, which doesn't necessarily always put you in the best mental state, especially for decision making. And if you have to, if you're clearly caretaking for him already, clearly that decision is gone from him. So at that point, you should just know, hey, he hasn't been able to walk for weeks, plural. And he is citing like effectively like lightheadedness and what would constitute a lack of blood circulation. Yeah, go to the doctor. Like, oh my God, like that stuff would constantly get at me when we were at the farm, like when I was at the pharmacy. It would get at all of us.
What
it's crazy.
You want to know why I bring up illnesses and vaccines and all that?
What?
Is because by the time this thing comes out, we would have done our extra live stream.
Yes, we will have.
Yeah. November 2nd.
Granted, there are some things you can vaccinate for. It's November 2nd. It sounds like it's the 7th.
Stupidity. Is it the 7th?
It's the 2nd.
Yeah, I said 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, two.
It kind of sounded like you said 7th, so I was like, what?
It's a V.
But this will be after that.
Yeah, it's a V for peace. And
But this episode will be after that.
Vaginas.
So clearly it went super well, man. We made so much
Exactly.
money
Oh my
for
God.
children's healthcare. Yeah.
we did it for the kids, guys. This is definitely not going to come back to bite us. Yes.
Hey, I think what's really important, and you know, I have to talk. I honestly, I've been really neglectful of doing this, but I'm still gonna. I need to ask him about it, just at least for like, if anything, either a small letter or just a quick story. But we somewhat, I somewhat have multiple occasions knowing about our local children's hospital, which is just Wisconsin Children's Hospital, or Children's Hospital of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
I have multiple like dealings with them in terms of my life, but we both know somebody who has had a very intimate relationship with them, and that is one of our friends, who unfortunately lost his son this year, his newborn son. It was really unfortunate, but he wrote in his post a very good letter, you know, about everything that they did to help him, and that's kind of why, like, you know, a big thing about why it was really important for me to do one this year is because, you know, we, you know, are going to have been, at this point it will be in the past, but we will be dedicating our stream to him, because that's something that no parent should ever go through. And that's especially a bigger reason, especially like for things that are treatable or preventable, that you should do things like vaccinate children and, you know, go through these processes. You know, you don't want to be that, you know, you don't want to suddenly learn that you could have done something and suddenly, your child, you're going to lose your child. Like, I think that's worse than any potential fake side effects that exist. Because like one of the things that always irks me personally is the like autism idea of like vaccinations cause autism. I've known a number of autistic people in my life in terms of the spectrum, because it's no longer, it used to be like you would have high functioning Asperger's or you'd be in autism spectrum. There used to be multiple. Now it's just autism spectrum.
Yes.
I learned this from a psychologist, by the way, so I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so like that's the thing, is I've known a number of people who are either higher functioning or less. No matter what, these are still functioning people. It is not even like, so the idea that you would have that like, well, I don't want my kid to be in I don't like, essentially the kids, like parents for some reason get this idea like, oh, like vaccines can cause autism, like, and then for some reason their idea is like, oh, my kid is essentially going to be useless. Like, that's really insulting to a lot of people. Like, and that is what bugs me about it more than anything, despite that it's not even true in the first place. But that really bugs me, is that it belittles a large number of people that are very functional, you know, because again, autism is a huge spectrum.
That's true. And though related, there is a great show that aired a while back. Have you ever heard of Speechless?
No, not offhandedly.
The premise of it is this family with a son with cerebral palsy, who is nonverbal. It's just that day in the life of them, and it's a comedy, but they do it in a way that's not insulting to anybody who has a disability.
Right.
Celeste and I watched it not too long ago, a couple episodes, because she needs to watch TV shows, and she's slowly bringing me back in the whole TV scape thing. But no, they were genuinely funny.
I mean, they're very easy. Honestly, there are plenty of ways to do that stuff.
Yeah, in good taste too. Taste.
Because it's the thing, it's you don't make it about like, haha, this person can't do this. It's more like, you know, you feel for them, right? Because you're seeing the idea is you create somebody who, you know, who seemingly genuinely like looks like they have this condition, and you humanize them. Yeah. And like because there are so much there's plenty of comedy in terms of life. That's where sitcoms really exist. Like, they hyperbolize a lot of, you know, the realities that we face. You know, like, we don't all have pet monkeys in our apartments
or evil twins.
Yeah, but like the reason sitcoms work in many ways, like the reason Modern Family is successful, is because it feels genuine. It feels like the human experience, but it makes it takes the funny things that exist in our lives and utilizes them. But but Modern Family has also a number of really nice messages to make. Like for example, like it is, a good example of the cerebral palsy case is like it has gay characters in it that are not just like in the early 90s and 80s where it was like the gay character is just like the weird guy who goes like hello, like it's, while I forget the actor's name, but the one of them is a little more, I guess, flamboyant than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Those people exist.
Yeah,
I know those people.
Oh, I also know those people.
But they don't use that they don't use that in a way to make it like, oh, like haha, he's a gay guy. It's just kind of like he's an eccentric person.
Exactly.
But he's also a sensitive person, and he's a deep character
and a very good father.
And that's the thing. It's like that's how those shows are successful, is that they take something that sure is very serious or concerning to maybe other people, but they put it in a way that makes it the humanity aspect and makes it believable and gives you relation to it.
Yes, and to be fair, they do have Sofia Vergara, so they have my vote.
I don't watch it too often. I don't hate it at all, not by any means, but I just don't watch it.
I hear you. That one kid in that's really funny.
The son of
Sofia
her
Vergara,
character.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a very funny kid. He is a funny kid.
I might be a bit biased by that though.
I mean he's definitely, in terms of the kid characters, he's the best one.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, no, the kids.
The realtor's kids annoy me sometimes. A lot of times, actually.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, to be honest with you.
But anyway,
why am I whispering?
I don't know. I don't know. You've been very soft toned the entire episode. Like
I think
we got serious.
Yeah,
and you're
we
just
did.
Like,
I'm like, listen, it's time for me to step
hello,
away
everybody.
from my stage character here. I'm not Cisco right now. I'm not Franny right now. I'm Francisco.
I'm serious when I drop the the shortening.
Right. I just want you all to know that thank you for your donations.
No, honestly, like I think no matter what, where we're gonna end up with an Extra Life is we're gonna end up with a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every year I've done Extra Life in its varying levels of success, I've always had a fun time.
Yes.
Even the year that I accidentally fell asleep.
That was hilarious though.
But
no one can blame you. You that was when you were doing 24-hour streams.
And I was by myself.
Also true.
That's where it was worse.
Yeah.
The first year was a lot easier because I obviously I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
B, I was with somebody almost the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was different than the last time I did Extra Life before now. The first time it was just because we were around so much, we were keeping each other awake really well. Whereas last time I did it 2 years ago, I think now, it was 2017. It was less that we were keeping each other up, but that we just kind of let each other sleep for a small period of time.
Yes.
So we would not fall into the issue, because that's a big thing. I am a huge proponent against the idea of 24 hours, the 24-hour stream. I know it's what Extra Life made its name on and all that, but I am wholeheartedly against the 24-hour live stream. At least if you're by yourself,
mm-hmm.
or you don't have people to be able to pull shifts with. If you don't have a team, you're alone, do 2 12-hour streams, right? Or even, kind of think of it like a 36-hour stream or something, or maybe not 36-hour, but like within a span of 36 hours. Think of it more like, I'm going to do 12 or less than 36. But like I'm going to pull 12 hours. And then when it gets really, really late, I'm going to fall asleep. And when I wake up, I'm going to get right back on it.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that's the thing is at that late hour anyway, nobody's watching anyway if you're not known, right?
Right.
There's no need for you to risk your health if you aren't a really well-known streamer. And then if you are a well-known streamer, you should set yourself up better to have shifts and make it so that you can do a 24-hour live stream, but you're not doing it by yourself, or at least unsafely.
And
energy drinks are not a substitute.
No, they are not. Take it from me, who was in the Marine Corps, where everybody drank energy drinks, and that one Pedialyte drink. That, you give babies.
Yes.
To rehydrate them. Babies,
make sure they grow.
Yeah, babies, college students, Marines and then old people drink those.
Yeah, anybody who gets hungover,
Yeah.
they'll drink a Pedialyte.
Effectively, it calls you out too when you're out there and you have that. Like, we know what you did, Mister. I'm not supposed to drink on the weekend, but anyways, just take it from us. The recent years we've learned a lot about sleep, or the fact of losing it, and
we still lose sleep.
Yeah, it's hard to regain that schedule. So just take care of yourselves. Eat healthy. At the very least, if you're gonna do a 24-hour stream and you're alone, take like an hour break between like every other like every 2 hours, something like that.
Or again, it's just like either do it with friends. Like that's a big thing. Like even if you're like a solo streamer, like you have friends. I know. And this is one of those things where it's like I know a lot of people like to be like I don't have real friends. You definitely do.
Exactly.
Most people that have that belief are usually more like teenagers and whatnot. But if you're in a position in your life where you are doing an extra life stream, you have friends. I guarantee you. You know, work on use their goodwill.
Yeah.
Like find people that you are making friends with, even at school or something, and ask them for help. And even if they can't stay the whole 24 hours and whatnot, try to build a trust kind of with those people. Like, hey, like this is for charity. Like, don't be coming in here and being like, I'm gonna look up porn on my stream and whatnot. Like, because I know high schoolers love to troll each other a lot. But like. There's got to be people around you that you are friends with and you can trust.
And it's only a positive experience.
Because again, like, and it's reminded, like, because most of the time, if you think somebody's going to troll you, remind them, like, dude, this isn't about like my stream. This isn't about building my stream. This is about trying to raise money for kids and like for sick children or in hospitals. Like, this is well above me. Like, this is a charity event, man. Like, it can be hard for a lot of like teenagers, especially, to like think that far outside of their heads. It's just a psychological thing. But you can do it. Like, if as long as you're real, like, you just gotta be real with your friends, man. Like,
and the way you said that, like, as long as you're real, like, as long as you're a real human being out there,
it's just don't
robots, looking you out of bots.
Don't make it seem like you're posing this stream as like a way to build your stream.
Yeah,
because I mean, like, obviously, plenty of people do that. Like, right? People will do charity stuff to help, like, kind of notarize their name. And it's not unheard of. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just a function, and you're doing something good while doing that. Like, I think that's better.
Yeah.
Instead of buying view bots.
That's true. Yeah.
Donate to charity.
Don't do it. Do that.
Yeah. Instead of buying view bots, which just go to China, just donate to charity.
And right now they hate Winnie the Pooh.
Oh boy.
Well,
they also hate the NBA.
That's true.
But you know what the NBA or fans of the NBA are doing? Tricking the guys that run the cameras.
I saw that. That kid is my hero.
Oh, that kid is so funny.
We're referencing the video in case you haven't seen it.
By the way, this video is now blocked in China.
Yes. This kid is because they do the dance camp, but they only go for the children because
especially ones with signs.
Exactly.
Like, really nice signs.
Ones with signs, all that. There was one with I don't remember. He was holding like a Lakers jersey, something like that.
Yeah, he had. Yeah, he was. It was Lakers. It was a Lakers game. Yeah, he had a sign. I don't know, maybe probably like a LeBron thing or whatever.
Yeah, and then once it cut to him, he saw that. He was like, "Oh!" He drops the jersey. Behind the jersey, he has a black shirt that says "Stand with Hong Kong."
Yeah, it's a Stand with Hong Kong shirt. It's sure, people can have their opinions what they want, but I think because obviously the joke really comes from like how poor the NBA has handled that PR.
Oh yeah.
And then so it's just great fodder for just messing with, I think, a company that any of those types of companies deserve it when they screw up.
Yeah.
Like a lot of time, because like especially multi-billion-dollar companies, when they screw up, they deserve to get ragged on a little bit because they're not actually going to lose anything. That's the reality. It's not like the NBA is going to die because they have had this little snafu with China.
Just look at the company that its name is a ice storm,
or just
you all know the one.
or even just for in terms of companies that consistently screw up but are still fine. The NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah, our players are only, having severe mental trauma and
Right.
potentially creating erratic acts in their later lives due to head trauma. The Shield will distract you with our poor refereeing.
Oh my God.
That was very funny. The Hong Kong thing or the kid, that was great. That was very
Right.
funny.
Oh man. Were we getting a bit preachy in this one? I feel
Little
like
bit?
we were. Yeah.
A little bit, but that's the thing. It's the main part of the episode was about Extra Life.
Yeah. I think it just shows how older and very slightly wiser we're getting. Very slightly.
Very slightly.
Yes.
I mean, you learn from experiences,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't say don't do a 24-hour live stream just because that streamer died a few years ago, right? Because obviously you could also point to the fact that he was smoking. Like,
Shit, right? Yeah,
he was a smoker. Like, so it's like he already had that going through his heart system,
right.
and when he died, he left to take a smoke break, and then just never came back. And by the way, I'm not laughing just because he died. I'm laughing because, again, the situation. It's just one of those things where it's like, obviously, like, there are probably other things that can point to somebody who, dies due to 24-hour live streams. But to me, enough people have.
Yes.
And I feel terrible after doing them that, to me, there's not a good enough reason to do a single stay up all 24-hour live stream. There isn't a good enough reason for me, at least.
And if you're thinking you're doing it for the solidarity of the kids, it's a nice thought, but in reality,
They get to go to sleep.
yes, having to be a detriment to your health, it just goes kind of against the entirety of the spirit of the events.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, Extra Life doesn't even they rarely promote the full 24-hourness anymore. They're actually way better about promoting the ability to do it in multiple, live stream times. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to reach the whole 24-hour total this year.
No.
But next year we will. And that's the thing is we're going to be doing essentially our stream is going to become bi-yearly, 2 12-hour streams, and where it's just, no one's going to get hurt. It's just kind of like a longer work day, but instead we're going to be playing role-playing games and having fun, and that's the thing. It's like, obviously what will help is that there will be more people, but man, if we tried to go all 24 hours, like, we're getting older. We're not getting any younger.
No, we're not.
We're very much closer to 30 than we are to 20 at this point. And 24-hour streams just take a lot out of you for multiple days too.
Yeah. Like right now, he's dying right now. You see that single cough? That's malaria.
That's the thing. The truth was, I wasn't vaccinated. Oh no!
It's also for Marshall. He is a dying child.
No. No. That's just the thing is, doing 24-hour streams has just been something that I have done, and therefore I've seen firsthand just how much it wrecks you. And that's because that's the thing. Like, a lot of people weirdly believe in the idea of like the reset, right? Staying up 24 hours and then going to bed at the right time, therefore they'll be at that. That does not work. It is a lie. That is a lie that people tell you on the internet. It does not work. If it happens, it's because it's placebo. It does not actually work, and it will hurt you more than it will help you.
At least for a good while afterwards, yeah.
The biggest things, if you ever want to, if you want to do things like, if you actually want to do things like changing your sleep schedule, like the way you do that is just by like, it in a way, it's kind of by forcing yourself. If anything, sometimes it is like, maybe go to find some melatonin and start taking that for a little bit, but then wean yourself off, right? You won't be getting great sleep to start. Those things don't help you like in terms of your entire sleep, but it will get you going, and if you can start to consistently go it, and then you can wean yourself off, maybe like take it only twice a week or 3 times a week, then twice, and then maybe only once, and then none. That will do it. But things like the hard reset, the 24-hour awake, doesn't do it. Don't do that, for sure. And
Definitely,
like I said, if you want to do a 24-hour live stream, that's great, but do it in a way that is going to be healthy for you.
Yes. Fun fact, day 3 of no sleep is when hallucinations set in. I can tell you those ones are not fun.
Yes. Now, granted, we're not saying to try that.
No, I had to do it forcefully
Yes.
in order to complete boot camp.
Yes, you were forced by the Marines. That's the thing, and that's the only time you should ever have to do that,
Mm-hmm.
is if you are getting essentially brained in by the Marines or the other parts of the military corps.
And even then, the Marines, after all that, they give you almost an entire day to sleep so that you could not die the next few weeks.
Yeah.
But effectively.
No, they're somewhat smart about how the way that they destroy you.
Oh, yeah. And
somewhat.
in my way, they destroy me quite literally. But yeah, so we got a bit serious with this one, but I feel like
A little bit.
Yeah, well, that's why we didn't have a cold open. We wanted to put our
That's not
hearts out
why.
there. No, we just couldn't come up with anything.
It just happened. No, it was just for some reason the way we opened that, it just kind of worked really well, and I was just kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna throw it in there right away.
All right, so
It's a curveball. We start the episode right away this time.
Right. So in the span of a month, we've had the longest open and then the shortest open.
Yes.
Yes. I do, because that story, I was like, oh man, this is longer than I thought.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good story though. I did enjoy it.
You know. But yeah, so otherwise, yeah, I'm sure, you know, speaking before the event at least, I'm sure we were going to have a great time. And I can for surely say that we are going, I think, to come out of it pretty satisfied. Whether or not we make our goal or not, it's irrelevant. A big thing is especially, like our team is going to, like the team we have, because if you don't know, we have an Extra Life team as well. So you can, you'll be able to see that in the description along with our actual personal page. And if you want, you can fundraise along with us. Again, this is going to be after the fact, but you're not limited to game day. If you feel like you missed out on Extra Life, I personally,
Yes.
this is the only year I will have ever done Extra Life on the day of game day. I always did it either the week after or in one case like 3 weeks after, because I just had too many things one time. Because we've always gone to UMACon.
Yes.
So I think in 2017, I think what happened was I had UMACon, I had a project shoot the week after that. I had to work the week after that. So the only time I could do it was 3 weeks later in December. But I did it. And that's the thing, is it doesn't matter when you do it. All that matters is that you do it. So if you want, you can join our team if you haven't already joined a team. Otherwise, you can donate to ours if you feel like you aren't able to do a stream yourself and you just want to donate to somebody. You can donate right to our personal page in the description below. It's never too late, and especially, we'll be going throughout more of the year next year. So Extra Life 2019 extends until the end of the year, turns out. And then Extra Life 2020 starts at the beginning of 2020.
Hey, look at that. It's like it goes for the entire year.
It's like there's never a bad time to donate.
Yes, but just remember, it starts on my mom's birthday.
But you know what? There is a bad time. It's the end of this podcast.
That is true, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen and others, thank you for joining us at the end of this podcast. Thank you for your consideration, for your help during the stream, and for listening to two idiots talking to microphones for about half an hour.
Yes. We have the same microphones now, so
Yeah,
now the
we
audio
do.
is way better.
They both owned by him, so I can't do anything to this one, technically. It's unfortunate.
Unless you got 20 bones.
Right.
Then I'll let you do whatever you want.
I have over 200 bones.
Goodbye. And you also sometimes have to deal with super crazy heavy threats that the teachers or the maids will as well.
And
So I played essentially the adventure school gym teacher. That was really fun. I had a lot of enjoyment doing that character. It was just really funny to be like,